This week on the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast, we talked to Scott Sherwood, who's running for the position of PDGA Coordinator for the state of New York, to find out why he wants the position.
I could really take this position and hype it up and be an ambassador for the sport.
We talked to Alex about the Workday and DisCap Monthly at OKDGC.
The numbers were right around where I expected them to be. It's still the first time that people are playing it, and people are still learning the lines and everything.
And Randy recaps the DisCap Series Flight of the Concord at Prospect Park.
It was a roll-away machine, and this thing would not slow down.
We finally get to go over some SkipAce results.
All right, so what happened in May?
And we finish it up with a round of disc or no disc where Randy loses his title as our hockey expert.
Have you ever heard of the Peak Award, Randy?
No, have you heard of any of them?
No.
Yeah. The Stanley Cup.
But first, a reminder about the upcoming CtK Fundraiser.
CtK Fundraiser, a couple weeks.
Oh, yeah. Registration is still open for that for one more week. We are right at meeting the fundraising goals. So I've actually been talking with board member Kat while we're recording about getting supplies ordered this week. So
nice.
Be on the lookout for Workdays at CtK. Not you, Alex. You stay home. Yeah, so that's super cool. I think there's like 50 people signed up for the tournament right now, which is awesome. I actually have to go out and buy a bunch of Trilogy discs because there's more people than I have discs, but there's not enough people to order more discs without having more discs again. So the way I'm going to deal with that is just buy a bunch of Trilogy discs and put them on the table. I don't really know a better solution for it. I'm really trying to not end up with extra discs at the end of the tournament like I do every other time.
I understand the pain, and I have a bunch of Stony Kill Scramble discs if you want those. And I'm just doing nothing with.
I bought these last ones from Trilogy, so I'll get Trilogy ones.
You did something about whole sponsors. How's that work, Jamin?
Oh, there's T sponsors. So originally, when I started the course, I sold the whole sponsors to get the baskets and get the original tees in. And now I'm doing T sponsors, which go on one of the signs. So like take hole 1, for example, it's got a red and a blue T. The whole sponsor goes on both of them, both of the T signs, and then the T sponsor will choose, one T sign specifically to be on. Those have been working out great. I think I've got about 18 of them sold. Yeah, it's been really nice. They're $75 each. If people want to purchase one, I'm more than happy to let them choose their hole as long as it's not already been chosen. Chosen? Jesus. Wow. Sorry.
I think even to say it's honest, no one else has choosed it yet.
Welcome to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast. This week we got Jamin, Alex, Corey, and Randy. Our guest this week is Scott Sherwood, who's running for PDGA State Coordinator for New York. How you doing, Scott?
Busy now that the voting is officially open, so a lot of questions and answers I've been doing all day.
Nice. So how did you first discover disc golf?
I started back in 2015, just casually playing. Buddy of mine got into it from a coworker, and they're like, oh, come on out and play. I was like, sure. So decided to go out, and they gave me a bunch of discs and said, here, play. I went to give it back at the end. They're like, no, just keep them. So just casually started with some friends and then played on and off for a couple of years before really getting into it about a year before COVID hit.
Nice. Where are you from?
I am from Niagara Falls, the American side, obviously. But yeah, from Niagara Falls, so the Buffalo, Western New York region.
Have you made it out this way at all?
I've made it to Syracuse last year, and then I've been out that way, but not for disc golf yet. Probably going to be out that way for states this year. It's just always in Glens, so I'm going to try to get out that way, definitely.
What did you do when you came out to Syracuse?
I actually ended up caddying for a good friend at the Clay Park Open last year.
Oh, nice.
I have some friends out that way, so I was like, yeah, you want to come out caddy? Sure, why not? I know it's better to do. So definitely went out and checked out the new courses, and then, try to plan out what I want to do tournament-wise.
What's your local course?
So for me, because where I'm at in the Falls, it's literally like a 20-minute circle. I got nothing like super close, but I got Bond Lake, about 15 minutes from my house. Joseph Davis is close by, stuff like that. ECP, Ellicott Creek Park is another good one. That was like the busiest one in the state for a while. So I got about 5 courses all within 20 minutes, but nothing within 5.
That's cool. We all can't be Corey with a golf course in the backyard. But
Yeah, it's because you have to find the sport of disc golf and then be in the market for a house, not the other way around.
I mean, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, or be like Jamin and Jason and just build a course nearby.
You just build them around your house. That might be a little cheaper.
What was your first disc?
Ooh, first disc. Actually, I want to think it was the Latitude 64 River. The buddy I played with was all Latitude and Dynamic, so the whole trilogy stuff. So I think either River or the Warship was one of the first ones that he had in his car and told me to take.
Nice. And what about your first tournament?
First tournament was singles at the Dizzle, which was an early spring tournament they did at Joseph Davis. 2 rounds in the middle of the spring, so the whole course was just a mud pit all around. Some of the holes were like knee height in water, so typical spring tournament.
So you said you started playing in 2015, but you signed up for the PDGA in 2020. What made you decide to sign up for the PDGA?
So in 2019, I just got a new job, moved into a new apartment. So like everything kind of changed, and I had actually a friend group kind of go our separate ways. So I was kind of in a darker place. And a buddy of mine, as well as my mother, were like, you need to go find something, a hobby or something, just get out of the house. Because at the time I was going like to work, home, that was it. So we went out that weekend. We did about 6 courses in a span of like 2 days and became hooked and went from there.
Nice. Do you run any events?
So 2022, I started getting more into behind the scenes stuff. Helped my local shop, Spartan Discs, with their putting league. That was at one point the like second or third largest putting league in the country for a winter putting league.
Wow.
So there was that. And then last year I got into a little bit more. Me and a buddy did a fundraiser tournament, and I as well as jumped into like more of the league side, helping out with some leagues. We had one of the most successful leagues last year where I was like averaging like 60 people a night. And then we're actually planning for this year. It's hopefully going to get announced in a couple weeks, a 2-day B tier. It's going to be kind of run like a regional or like a smaller version of like the Pro Tour, how they do it. Mm-hmm. So like tee times, 1 round each day, and really kind of just like a different way of doing it instead of the shotgun start.
What courses are you going to use for that?
We're looking at Outwater, which is in Lockport, which is a kind of beginner to intermediate level course. Plays in the city park and then on the hill itself. And then the second round is going to be at Royalton, which kind of built in the same spec as Bond was. So we not going to be surprised if that gets up to the UDisc top 100 soon, hopefully, which is a real nice course that plays along the county park.
Nice. I've played Royalton. I haven't played Outwater. Lockport's kind of in the Royalton area though, right?
Yeah, the two courses are like maybe 10, 15 minutes away from each other.
Okay.
Outwater's like in downtown Lockport. It's like 2 minutes away from like where the locks are and everything like that in the Erie Canal.
Oh, cool.
So you're running for PDGA State Coordinator. What made you decide to do that?
So for me, it was kind of something that I've always kind of enjoyed doing, like I said, the behind the scenes stuff. And getting out last year, I went the whole weekend at American Flying Disc Open out in Rochester, as well as States last year. And it was just like talking to people, and I was like, I can do this better. I think personally, it's like kind of taking it the next step. It was like, yeah, there's email, people can talk to the coordinator and stuff. But it was like, I could really take this position and hype it up and be an ambassador for the sport, we have here. Because over the last year and a half, I've met so many people from Syracuse, from downstate, from Olean to here in Buffalo, Rochester, and kind of just be ambassador and really highlight what we have going on here in the New York State, and kind of like show the PDGA and show the world that it's like, you shouldn't really be skipping over us because we have things to offer.
That's a good point. I guess there's a few questions that are always asked. Do you think New York needs more than one state coordinator?
You're right. It's been asked a couple times to me as well. It's definitely one of those things where it can't hurt, especially if you have 2 coordinators that can work together. One of the things I kind of want to bring to the table is, because I know, like, I'm all the way out here in Western New York. So like, I know where you guys are, or like down Long Island, it's like, we're not the same area. So I definitely want to bring in people from that region to be clubs and stuff to help. So I think splitting it up couldn't hurt, but I definitely think it's a role that the 2 sides should definitely have to work together and work as a team.
Yeah. I think this area is pretty good about not even necessarily coordinating with each other, but at least knowing, what's going on as far as stepping on toes and such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things where it's like, people kind of forget how big New York State actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, it's like, I actually talked to some of the, when I decided to run, I actually reached out to the PDGA. I was like, what can I do with this role? Like, because I didn't want to like say like, oh, I can do this. And the PDGA coming after, like, you can't do that. But they kind of said it was kind of open up where I can do is like, so like, I would love to like almost build a network of, someone who's from like your area, like set up a different region. So if there's something that's like someone's running a brand new tournament and they're new to it and they reach out and like, hey, we're running this tournament, but they have all these questions. There's someone on your, closer to them that can go and be like a one-on-one. Mm-hmm. So it's really kind of tapping into where it's like, yeah, the coordinator is in charge of everything, but I think the coordinator role itself is more the ambassador where we can then use and get help from other places to make sure that people get what they need to succeed and to actually thrive as a TD or club or whatever. Mm-hmm. So if it's someone that something I can help over like video or phone calls, stuff like that. But if there's someone that I know of that's 5 minutes away that knows everything that they're asking, it might be easier for them to have help one-on-one.
Obviously, you've not had the position, but I'm sure you've read about it and such. Mm-hmm. But do you think a state coordinator should be at states or should be at an A tier?
Oh, 100%. I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to get to every A tier. You are one person, but like last year, we had a pro tour event and then states at the same course. And the coordinator wasn't there. And I got the chance to talk with a lot of shops and stuff that were there setting up. And it was just like, this would be a perfect time if you're the coordinator to get out and talk to people. This is a pro level event that we have in our state, which if I remember correctly, we haven't had one in a while before AFDO last year. So I was like, definitely think that the coordinator should try to get out to, any pro level, especially states, because that's kind of your big event for the whole year for everyone to come together. Mm-hmm. But definitely try to get out the A tiers and stuff like that as well.
This is just a general question. Do we have an idea of how many A tiers are in New York State?
There's 3.
3?
Yeah.
3 or 4?
I'm wondering what the 4th one is. The 3 that I can name are AFDO, Warwick, and Mindkill.
You're right, because Syracuse was a B tier. My bad.
It will probably next year it'll be 4.
Yeah, next year there'll be 4 for sure. I think that number is going to keep growing over time. New York's kind of starting to get that moving, which is really nice. But yeah, even 3 in the state's been nice. I think before Mindkill, there was a few years where AFDO was a B tier, was kind of laying low. So Warwick has been the only one in recent years.
I say we've only had one out in this neck of the woods in like the last 10 years.
Yeah, and then AFDO has been up and down. I mean, it's been a Elite Series event before. They've also done some kind of an Elite Series event down at Warwick a long time ago.
Yeah, Warwick is kind of the one that's kind of the one I really want to get down to and try, because everyone keeps saying, oh, you should go play it. I'm like, I would love to.
It's like the one place you could throw a shot into the ground and still get 2 metered.
Don't remind me.
Let's not oversell it to him because we don't want to disappoint like we did Corey.
Yeah, you're right.
It's a really good course. It's not,
Well, that's like Parma for me. It's like I've walked the new layout since they've redone it for AFDO. I've walked it either helping caddy or whatever 8 times. I have not got to actually play the new layout. And it's like every time I go out there to help either caddy for a teammate or do photography or stuff for the team, my team, it's like I would love to come play this, but I haven't yet. I need to come play.
That's my feeling with CtK. I've filmed so many of those holes. I know exactly what to do on them, but I've never thrown a disc on it.
It's the worst feeling.
Not really, because I know what would happen when I threw a disc on there. But I can dream. It's the shots are so much better when they're in my head.
You can sit there and say, I know what I need to do, and, this is what I got to do. And then it just goes.
Exactly. Yeah. Then reality strikes.
Yeah.
But one of the guys who's normally on here, Jason, he was more interested, and I don't know how prepared you would be to answer it because you haven't had the position, but as far as any kind of like a New York point series.
So one of the things in 2021, when I really kind of got into the sport, like doing 14, 15 tournaments, I joined Spartan Discs as a team member. I actually started a website and brand called Disc Golf 716, which really just started out during COVID to kind of help promote the sport and kind of bring all the information to one site. But I was actually just talking with the team last week, and that was an idea we've been floating around that I think would be really cool to see is like an actual like statewide point series. You're seeing it this year with the Thruway series with the ladies. They're doing 5 or 6, I think, tournaments. And you're also seeing the Empire match play. And people seem to really like those 2 events. So an actual point series or an actual tour across the state, I think would be an amazing idea to kind of bring everyone together.
Yeah, I like the idea that Empire What's it called? The Empire Series? Is that it?
Empire Series or Empire Open?
Empire Open, yeah.
It used to be New York State Match Play. He changed it this year.
It's a great idea. I just hope it feels like it's in its sophomore slump. So I just hope it sticks around. You know what I mean? Because I think it has a few less people this year. Sometimes that happens. I've always liked the slow burn.
Match Play 2 I've seen is kind of, it's hit or miss.
It's tough with travel because you're looking at one round, might not even be 18 holes. And there's only so far you're going to get people to travel. Even people who want to travel might not be like, you know what, that guy's so much better. I might only end up playing 12 holes, something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of tough doing that for something like that the whole state. We're actually on the Disc Golf 716 YouTube page. We're in the process of filming it. Is a match play series. We got like 15 to 20 players, and they're in the process of right now going through and doing the first round. That's just local here in Western New York, and it's just like some people are like, well, I don't want to drive all the way there. I'm like, 20 minutes. So if it's that bad at just a smaller level, I can only imagine what it is statewide.
Yeah, for me, it's like if I got to drive to J Park, I want to play at least a 27-hole layout kind of thing.
You got to spend more time in the course than you did in the car.
Well, exactly.
That's
Yeah.
kind of usually my thing.
Yeah.
If I drove 3 hours to get here, I'm playing for 6 hours.
No, I'm looking at for 3 hours and 5 minutes. Just more than I'd be traveling. Yes, exactly.
I mean, the cool thing too with like doing an actual point series is that, or even like a New York State tour, is that it wouldn't really be hard to set up because you wouldn't really have to make new tournaments. You could just go and like, hey, make it a part of Syracuse Open, AFDO, BFDO out here, whatever. So you pick like 5 of the state's biggest tournaments and go, look, let us help you market. We'll help you market it. We'll give you maybe more prizes or something. And then people can play towards those and already doing events that can already be doing. It's like an added bonus.
Yeah. Even if it's just kind of like the Empire Open is, where it's regional to start. And then it's just like, hey, just send your top guys.
I think, too, that would actually even make the New York, if you do like a New York State final, it makes that a little bit more important, I guess you can say, because it's like people have earned their spot to go to that. Instead of it be like, well, I'm just nearby, so I'll just jump in the New York State Championship. It's like, is it really a championship at that point? Or is it just another tournament?
Yeah, that's always been one of the difficulties with it. It's hard to get people out. We've been, while planning the tournament, trying to combat the local advantages wherever possible. And it's not an easy thing to deal with. Being a local, you just have a much easier time playing those courses in preparation.
It's kind of hard too, because it's like trying to come up with like, maybe I'll do like an alternate layout or something like that, because like or an ultimate course, like, because you don't know if it'll be set up in time and things like that. So you want to do a course that's already been built. So it's kind of that hard trying to find a happy balance.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
The New York State's moves every year, right?
Yep.
What are the regions that are how many places does it move to?
There's the 4 regions.
Because last year was in Rochester.
Yep.
This year's in Glen. The year before that was down in like Ithaca, I believe, if I remember correctly.
The year before that was FDR in Mount Kisco.
Okay.
Oh, the year before
Wedge.
that was the Ithaca, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's 4 regions?
Yep.
All right. Sounds like we got 3 of them. I mean, I've not played in Ithaca, but I've heard of it, so I assume it's not that far away.
I mean, it's probably not that far away for you because you could just cut across the southern part of the state and instead of having to like,
Yeah.
it's probably just as far as like coming to Glens Falls for sure for you.
Yeah, it's north of Binghamton.
Okay, so Binghamton's like 100 miles.
It's like in between Binghamton and Syracuse.
Oh.
That's where Cortland is. It'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing where it is next year, because I think next year it's going to be back in central New York with Syracuse probably having their first A tier. It'll be really interesting to see where it goes. My secret hope is that it goes out to Binghamton and I have a reason to go play Greek Peak finally.
When I was in Ithaca last time, we played that TC3 course, that college, and that impromptu Pat Govang course. That's his name, right? Pat Govang.
Yep.
Like on his property. Yeah, that was interesting.
Wasn't one of the courses like not even ready? Like they're finishing like a day or two before?
Yeah, that was that second course. Because whatever course that was out there like flooded. Whatever one is known to flood, like it flooded. So they like whipped his course up into like 18 holes. I mean, I had fun playing it, but it was definitely like not in the same caliber as TC3. But they did what they had to do. I enjoyed it.
Yep, it was a fun play. I remember like you had to be like way under par. Like if you weren't double digits under par, you were not getting anywhere. But it was fun. TC3 definitely had the scoring separation.
Until you're in the position, like even if you were thinking like, hey, it'd be cool to have a point series, you kind of want to find out if you're not overwhelmed.
Yeah, 100%. I think too, like something I learned this year is trying to take everything on by yourself can lead to madness.
Mhm.
So I think, something like doing a point series, it definitely couldn't hurt to be like, let's say we're talking to Syracuse about, that's CNY and all them. It's like, hey, we want your tournament to be part of it. So do you guys want to come on and, share your input? Because they might know something that we don't and kind of been able to bounce ideas off. So it's definitely one of those things where it's like finding what the actual job entails. Like I said, I reached out to the PDGA already. I was like, can I do this? Like, what can I do and can't do? And then I think I said, finding people that you can work with that know that area or know something that I don't, if that makes sense.
No, absolutely.
I'm kind of curious, like, I'd like to see a heat map of the state of New York that shows the number of, like, events. Maybe heat map is the wrong word, where the dot is bigger with the bigger the number. Like, what area puts on, just quantity-wise, like, the most events?
I would be interested in that as well.
The coordinator would have, I know Jimmy has a full list of like tournaments sanction wise. So you could definitely do that pretty easily with like the sanction stuff. But then you're trying to find like what's going on unsanctioned and other,
Then you're talking about like dubs events or
exactly
how little do you want to make it? Obviously not pickups, but like tag matches. I'm looking at UDisc for the events and it's just insane, the amount of events. But I'm also like halfway between Wedge and Skylands, so I get both of their
events.
Shrapnel.
I mean, that's what it is for me too. Is like everything's going on here in Western New York. I'm only like an hour and a half, 2 hours from Rochester, so I get all their stuff. I hear what's going down at Twin Tiers and like the southern part of Western New York, and then we get all the stuff from Canada as well.
What's that about?
Yeah,
they do a lot of stuff over there. It's like I didn't think they had that many courses, but they're always putting on stuff. I'll give them credit where credit's due. They make do with what they have.
Have you ever played disc golf in Canada?
Not tournament wise. I went across last year and played St. Catherine's and Fireman's Park in Niagara Falls. It was really nice to finally get to play Fireman's because to my house it's the closest course.
Oh wow!
But when I got really, really into the sport, COVID hit, so we can't go to cross Canada because they had the borders basically closed. And I'm just sitting there going, hey, look, there's a course I would love to play. That's 5 minutes away from my house. So it was nice to finally get out there and play.
Heck yeah. When you say 5 minutes, now that the COVID stuff has kind of calmed down, does it take that quickly to get there? I mean, is there a process to get over and back and all that good stuff?
So if you're like right on the borders, you can get an enhanced license. And if you time it pretty good, like I've learned that like if you go over like the Lewiston Queenston early morning, which is one of the bridges, you normally can get through in 5-10 minutes. We made the mistake last year when we were coming back. We tried to go across the Rainbow Bridge, which is the one that's in like downtown Niagara Falls, in the middle of the afternoon. And we were stuck on the bridge for like almost an hour and a half. So a lot of it just comes down to what bridge you're crossing and what time.
Okay.
Actually, I got to go to Michigan a couple years ago for DGLO, and we went across Canada instead of down below. And it took us like 5 minutes. It took us almost 3 hours to get across the ones in Michigan. So yeah, the Canadian bridges are all just how you hit them.
So James is the incumbent. How much more difficult is it, running with somebody who's already been in the position?
I mean, it's always going to be more difficult because people know exactly what they're getting with the incumbent.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I know what they offer, where I'm coming in and be like, okay, I see what he's done. Here's what I can do and make it better. Here's some of the issues I've seen where it's like I said, he wasn't out at States last year. He wasn't at AFDO. Like the paperwork side of it, I think is kind of the easier part, truthfully, for me at least. I'm kind of one of those nerds who love spreadsheets.
I don't know anybody like that.
Spreadsheets are great.
Spreadsheets make life just easier because I can just go, okay, here's what I got.
Mm-hmm.
So like that part, especially if you know kind of where the courses are, it's not that hard to go, okay, you want to do a tournament like for me at Bond and someone else comes in and wants to do a tournament at Royalton. It's like, guys, that's too close.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I really want to see like the role of the coordinator almost become an ambassador. This is when new players or people coming out of state, if they have any questions, like I think the coordinator role is to be there and hype up our tournaments. That way people know, hey, they're killing it on the disc golf course in their tournaments. Really grow it and not just be a person behind a computer screen.
I see it being a difficult hill to climb only in the sense that people around here don't see either of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a knock or anything. That's just obviously you haven't had the position, so you wouldn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, well, we got this one guy, I've heard of him, and then another guy, I just don't know him. Is there anything you could say to anybody like that who's like, well, a choice between two unknowns, at least this guy hasn't fucked up? basically.
I kind of saw it too, like when I made the initial post. It was like, when I made that post, I wasn't sure who was running yet. So I didn't realize it was going to be the two Western New York guys. But it's like, yes, James hasn't really done anything wrong, but it's like, we have so much more to do in New York State. And I would love to, like, if you give me the chance to show it, and let the rest of the country, let the rest of the world know that, hey, we have stuff here in New York. Let's celebrate what we have. If that's me coming out to events, I'm a single guy with no kids, no nothing. I can travel. I want to get out, hit up the A tier. When it comes to states, I plan on being there. If there's another pro series event, even if I'm not playing, I plan to be out there wandering around, talking to people. And that was one of the things I did at AFDO last year, is once I was finished caddying, I probably spent another 4 to 6 hours just talking to people. I met some of the local shops, I met some of the local places, and just try to learn and like talk to people.
At the very least, New York State is definitely not going to get smaller with events, or with some of the bigger events. Like Jamin said, it wasn't that long ago that you'd be lucky to have one A tier in the state, and now we're getting 3 a year plus a whole host of great B tiers and whatnot.
Yeah, and then like you said, probably next year Syracuse bumps it up to 4, and 3-4 years ago it was 1, so it's quadrupled in the last 5 years. So the question is it time to have a New York coordinator that is more proactive? Because I think up until this point, it was fine doing what they were doing, just making sure stuff wasn't conflicting. But would a New York State coordinator help grow the sport in New York? And when I say grow it, because it's growing it on its own, but I mean grow it as far as like more unified. And how would they go about doing that?
I think, like, for me, with the coordinator role and how I envision and how I picture it is from talking to people. Like, you're right. Like, James was kind of more of and there's nothing wrong with it. James was more of a behind the scenes, behind the computer screen, making sure everything went smoothly. And I think by starting to build up the position, building up a network so people know what's going on, as well as hyping it up. Like, I don't know the full ins and outs yet about like social media and stuff, but like having it to where there's a uniform group or person to hype it up and like talk to people, so that way if it's a point series or making states better or making different events better, so that way, because there's events that you guys do out there that we don't even hear about in our side of the state, and probably vice versa. That was kind of one of the things I was doing with DG. It was like, or Disc Golf 716, was I was starting to post like the bigger tournament. So if there was an A tier or like a big B tier that we knew about, I was putting it on the site to get people out here to know about. So we can get people out like that to Mind Kills or Syracuse Open. So I think having a unified person that can be like, hey, this is what's going on, which as a coordinator, you actually already know, what tournaments are going on. You can kind of hype it up so that way one side of the state knows about something on the other side, vice versa, north, south, stuff like that. So I think that's kind of the way, we all we grow together, is by helping each other down the road. And I said doing like a point series or something like that, where kind of brings everyone into one mindset and one group, definitely can't hurt. So there's a lot of things too where, you guys do your own thing, you have your own way of doing things, and same with us out here, probably the same anywhere you go. Just kind of help each other and like, hey, we're doing this event. What do you guys got? Yeah.
Speaking of point series, have you heard of NIFA?
I don't think I've ever heard. That's the National Amateur...
the New England Flying Disc Association.
Yes, I did hear that one.
Okay. No, just curious. They have their own point series. Technically, we're not in New England, but New York is probably one of the bigger contributors because we are so close. I mean, I'm a half hour from 2 other states. I don't know. You guys have a different tri-state area up there, right? You guys are pretty close to Massachusetts and...
Yeah, Massachusetts and Vermont are pretty close for me.
I wasn't sure between New Hampshire and Vermont which one was on the left. So I'm going Connecticut's only an hour away. So I got 3 states within not too far.
So it's the same as we have out here with Canada, PA, and stuff like that.
Yeah. How far is Pennsylvania from you?
About 2 hours.
Oh, okay.
An hour and a half, 2 hours. It's not terrible.
Because that's where the state gets thinner. I forget these things.
Yeah, you get on the 90 and it just straight down. It's funny. I always joke around, like Western New York, Buffalo, Niagara Falls is like, we're an hour and a half away from Toronto. We're 4 hours away from Pittsburgh, about 4.5, 5 hours away from Cleveland, and then New York City as well. We have all these massive cities that are within a day's travel. I highly don't recommend doing it, but
especially for Cleveland.
Yeah, it can be done.
Yeah.
One of my good buddies just did a 1-day drive from Western New York all the way out to Maple Hill and back. So it can be done.
Wow.
He only whined about it for like a week and a half later.
That's a trip.
When you really think about it, it's like 6.5 hours there. And then you're playing for, 4 hours and turn around, drive 6 hours back.
Oh, that's all. I feel like I'm one of the crazier drivers. I've done my fair share of ridiculous drives, but I draw the line at like 3.5 hours. That's when I'm like, all right, I'm going to get a hotel. 6.5 is crazy. If I go out to Buffalo for a tournament, I played BFDO a few times, I get a hotel. That's too far to drive back and forth in one day.
When we did Syracuse last year, we did in one day. And I was like, I kind of regret this, but we actually had 2 drivers, so it wasn't terrible. But I remember when I was younger, we went up to Syracuse for the New York State Fair and a concert they were doing. And we left the house like 6 o'clock in the morning, went to the fair all day, went to the concert, and then drove home. And it was like the worst drive of my life, because I'm just sitting there going, yeah, my eyes are open. I can see the road.
Yeah, 90 is a very boring road.
And it was foggy, and the only light or anything we saw was construction.
Oh.
It was not a fun drive.
I would argue 87 is pretty freaking boring as well. But
I prefer 87 myself, but I don't know why, but I think it's just shorter. Like if you're on 87 long enough, it just ends, and all of a sudden you're in Jersey on 17. 90, I mean, I've driven all the way on 90 to Wisconsin, so
oh my.
Yeah,
that just sounds terrible. I mean, at least at some points you get like water or,
Yeah, it was mostly just cornfields. It's nice to be in Wisconsin, though. That I went out and played Am Worlds there one year, which is super cool out in the Madison area.
Yeah, I went on a trip when I was younger, bus all the way out to Purdue University in Indiana, and literally it was just cornfield. I was like, thank God I'm not driving.
Why wouldn't you go to Notre Dame instead?
That's what the conference was. Not my control.
I've only been as west as Eastern Ohio.
By vehicle, it would have been Indiana. By plane, I did get to go out to, did 2 weeks hiking in the Rockies when in high school for scouts. Definitely wish I played disc golf then.
Right. Did you say there was a club you were in? What was it called?
So I am the founder of Disc Golf 716. Started the idea in 2020, late 2021. I kind of got the push to do it. And especially with that COVID rush that we had, or COVID boost with players coming in, people were having issues like they didn't know to go look at the Facebook pages or like disc golf scene. So with such huge influx of new players, I started the website, and it has like all our tournaments that we do, what clubs are in the area, the courses, as well as like if anyone's doing any media stuff, things like that. So it's basically taking information from like 8 different sources, bringing it onto one website. And then, if you're looking at the tournament page and see, oh, I want to do this, there's a link there that you can go to disc golf scene, stuff like that. And then this year we started the YouTube page. One of my friends in the community came up and goes like, I want to do YouTube, and you have better, influence and better marketing skills. Like, you want to team up? And I was like, yeah. So one of the things we did, we have lucky enough to have 3 winter league putting leagues here in the Western. So we took the winners from each one. Winners are like top 5, whatever, and did like a huge tournament for them. So to finish out the putting season.
Like an actual tournament?
It was a putting tournament.
Oh, okay.
Each round had 4 players. So Spartan Discs, which is one of the disc golf shops here in Western New York, they put on a indoor putting league every year. So it's a 9-hole putting league, but it's kind of like set up like putt-putt for disc golf, basically. So they set up a custom 9-hole course. And then we had 4 cards of guys with 4 each, and then 2 ladies cards. And then the top 2 advanced, and then 2, and then to the winner.
Nice. Does anybody have any particular questions?
What you got, Corey?
Oh, are we in the particular questions part of the show?
This is all edited, Corey, so we could bounce around. It does not matter. So if you have a particular question, but I don't think you could use the falls. You use that.
I know, that's the worst part. I'm like, what the hell else is freaking Western New York known for?
Did I do okay with that?
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Jamin, help.
Let's see. Hang on, I'm brewing something.
All right, while you're thinking, one of the common questions is, what's your favorite course beverage?
Probably Gatorade. I used to drink a lot of pop. I've kind of cut off on the pop stuff. So usually if I'm going out to a course, it's just a Gatorade, either the Cool Blue or Lemon Lime, just classic.
Yeah, okay. I was going to ask what flavor
Nice.
colors, and those are the
good
two
choices.
bangers. Yeah, Lemon Lime and is Cool Blue the light blue or the dark blue?
Light blue.
Oh, light blue.
Oh, yeah, frig yeah.
So what's pop?
Soda, caffeine.
Oh, maybe
I
that
always
might be a
forget that's
Western
the
New York
thing.
thing, too.
I lived in the South for a while where it was always Coke. You go to a restaurant, I'll have a Coke. What kind? Dr. Pepper?
When I was younger, I used to do a lot of mission trips, and we were doing a local one because we had a bunch of younger kids, and we were just south of Rochester, and we had a group come up from Florida, and they're like, oh, we're going to Walmart. You guys want anything? I was like, yeah, give me some pop. The look of straight confusion on their face was priceless.
That, and they definitely said, let's go to the Walmarts, right?
Yeah, the Walmart.
You got to go to the Walmarts.
Then they went to Wegmans, and they were really confused.
So what about your off-the-course beverage?
If I'm going to like a restaurant, then it's Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper is always a good go-to.
It's a good brand of Coke.
Well, it's weird because everywhere else I go, for them, it's like Coke product. But Western New York, it's so much more Pepsi.
We actually have a Pepsi distributor not far from here. So a lot of the restaurants, that's your option because it's so local. Drives my wife crazy, a Coke person.
Growing up, my neighbor worked for Pepsi, so I had more Pepsi than I knew what to do with.
Nice. You got anything, Corey?
Well, I have an idea. We'll see how the journey takes us. So, Scott, it's the summer. You're out and about on the town. You decide that you're going to go play. Did you say one of the courses is called Riverton? Am I making that up?
Royalton.
Royalton. Okay,
Yeah.
so you're going to check out Royalton. But there's this giant freaking festival going on in Western New York today. So you get to park your car pretty far away from the course. You do that. You start walking to the course, and the festival just happens to be in between you, where you parked, and the course. So you're wading through this sea of people. You got your disc golf bag on your shoulder, when all of a sudden you see it with the light shining down through the clouds as if it was he himself. And it is the garbage plate food truck. You're not going to pass up a garbage plate in Rochester, New York, or wherever Royalton is. So you decide to swing over there and get yourself a nice garbage plate. Unbeknownst to you, there's thieves afoot. And they just see something that has some type of value, they're taking it. So they pickpocket your bag for every disc inside of it, except for some reason they spared your putter and 3 other discs. So once you get done woofing down that garbage plate, what 3 discs and what is your putting putter that you're going to use to play Royalton?
3 discs and a putter. Latitude River, my go-to for just about anywhere. Putting putter, as well as probably a thrower. So I'll actually take 2 spots with it, is the Latitude Hope, the normal Sense plastic for my putter. And then I have one of the new Royal plastic Hopes and loving it on the course. And for my mid-range, probably the Trust, because I was able to get my hands on one of the beautiful European Open ones that they made out last year. It's like the orange and gray swirls, and they told us, oh, it's only going to be for the European Open. It's never coming to the States. Went to AFDO, and the Trilogy guy had it. I get mine.
What was that? Garbage what, Corey?
A garbage plate?
Yeah. Scott, do you know what that is?
I know of it. That's more of a Rochester thing.
Oh, isn't that all Rochester out there?
No, Lockport's kind of where the cutoff is. Once you get like Niagara, Orleans counties, there's a couple places that could have it, but yeah, it's more Rochester with the garbage plates.
How far are you from the falls? Like if you were to drive there right now?
If I drive from my house to the actual falls, I'm about 5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
5-10 minutes, yeah. Depending on traffic. It's literally in my backyard.
I should have made a Maid of the Mist joke or whatever how that boat is called.
Yeah, I got nothing. I don't know what that is.
It's the boat that goes close to the water.
Oh, okay.
It takes you on, and it literally will just drive you up to the edge of the falls from below it, so you can look up on it. There's that, and then there's the Cave of the Winds, which you can actually walk on docks, and you're like 5 feet away from the water.
Have you done the boat?
I've done it several times.
Okay.
It's kind of funny because like everyone's like, "Oh, you're from the falls." It's like, it's the falls. Like I'll go to the falls every once in a while. I'll go like take my parents' dogs, and if they're at work, and go walk them. And like seeing people like in one day, I think I've seen every plate in the lower 48 and every Canadian province all in one spot in one day. It's like, really? Like you're coming here?
If you're that close, does that mean it's like you're in a tourist trap type area?
Not really. So I'm on the other side of the city. So it's just more kind of blue collar just area. The actual like touristy part of the city only kind of is like a little section downtown. Niagara Falls State Park, which is actually the oldest state park in the country. It has like a nice green band around it. So you still have to walk like 5 minutes from wherever you park to get to the falls. And then once you get past there, it's like, your tourist things, your putt-putt and that stuff, the casino.
We had a couple events that we wanted to go over. We could save the rest of last week in disc golf for next week. What do you want to do, the monthly or the Flight of the Condor?
Ooh, I want to talk about both of these, but I am personally more interested in the monthly.
I agree. I want to know how the workday went too.
Yes.
Okay, so the DisCap June monthly was at OKDGC.
Mm-hmm.
So on Saturday was a work day, Sunday was the monthly. How'd it go, Alex?
Over the course of the week, we had been, getting stuff done, going through getting everything mowed and weed whacked and all that. So the work day was really just more of the same. We ended up putting in a couple of wooden tee signs, just little markers, that sort of thing. Marked OB in a couple of places with stakes. Well, we ended up running out of time. We didn't get to all of the places that we would have liked to do. That's how it goes sometimes. But yeah, it was a small work day. It was myself, my mom, and Gene Gierka, who is best known for his work at Stony Kill. So we really appreciated him coming out. And a couple other people were able to make it out over the course of the week as well. But the workday itself was 6 or 7 hours of, mowing and weed whacking and doing that just with us three. So we were able to get things in a pretty playable state. It's still obviously a very new course. So anytime you're in the rough, it's going to be very rough. But everything's up on UDisc now. It's still set. I believe Jason had told me a while back, it's set to be like invite only. So you have to like actually search for it in order for it to pop up. And that's just so that people don't go into it thinking, this is a finished course and, everybody's ready to, put in a bunch of ratings and have it be like a 2-star course for several years until people figure out that, it's not the same as it was.
It's a 9 or 18?
Right now, 9. It will be 18, but for now, we just have the 9.
What would you say is the skill level for that course?
It's difficult. It's very difficult.
Where would it go on Corey's chart of difficulty, would you say? If you were to assign a par value.
The goal was about 975 par.
Oh, wow.
I think it's pretty close to that right now. When we get to the scores and everything for the monthly, actually, well, might as well go to those now. So pretty small monthly. We ended up with 12 players total, 5 pros, 2 AMs, 4 players in rec, and 1 player in the ladies division. Unfortunately, it seemed like our rec players were a little bit unprepared for how difficult it was going to be. We got through our first 9 and Evan Parsley comes up to me and is like, the rest of my card just dropped out. Unfortunately, that Saturday was an incredibly muggy day. And there's a couple of long walks on this 9 where, you're walking uphill for a pretty significant amount of time. And we had a couple of people with some health issues.
Wasn't there threat of rain at some point? Didn't you say something about potentially only playing 9?
I was looking at the forecast and, you can only trust the forecast so far. But even up until the night before, it was saying, storms at like 10, 11 o'clock, which is right when the monthly is supposed to start. So I was worried about that. But we got a little bit of, sprinkles about midway through the round. So right about through 9 holes, but never actually developed into any actual rain or anything like that.
I would like to just point out that I was thinking about going and then I saw 9 holes. I'm not driving an hour and a half each way for 9 holes. So,
Yeah. I think the difficulty level scared off some people. And to be fair, it's a very difficult course and there's definitely some bad places to end up. But I think it's, reasonably fair. It's difficult, but fair. I ended up shooting +5 over 2 9s. So honestly, not insane. The winner took it down at +3. That was Travis Bashore playing pro. He played well. I played with Tim Giardini and Jason Lasasso and Danny Parton. Tim and Jason also shot a +5, and Danny was sitting at +9, I believe. So it's not crazy. Jason's first time through the 9 was -1, so it's not insane. There's definitely some birdies out there. For the last 5 holes on the front 9, he went 4 birdies out of 5 holes. So they're out there to get. So it's not that difficult. I don't want to shame people for being scared of it or something like that. But I just want to make it clear that it is playable. It's not anything crazy.
Yeah, you say -1 through 9. It's like the first time playing it, the second round. Then he knew what to avoid, and then you start thinking about that. I think Jamin had said something like that.
Yeah. With Clay Park, I think, right?
Yeah, there's certainly some courses where the first time you play it, you're going to be a lot looser and you're not going to be so worried. And then the more times you play it, the more memory you have of what's happened in the past. And all of a sudden you start to get more nervous. A lot of those holes at Warwick remind me of that. Hole 13 going out of the woods, hole 15 going out of the woods, same thing. First time you hit them, that's a giant gap. And then by the time you get to the tournament, you're like shooting through a shot glass.
So you mentioned Travis Bashore won the pro division. Greg Kurtz won AM. Mm-hmm. Evan Parsley, we're going to have to check the video to make sure he had his shoes on and he played all the right holes, but he won the rec division.
Because the rest of his card dropped out, he ended up joining our card. So I was watching him. He was playing well.
I appreciate that. So we know he did 9 good holes.
Yeah.
With shoes on. And Mindy Potts won the women's division. Nice. So what are the future plans now? What's the next step for that course?
So the next step, now that things are on UDisc, hopefully we can potentially get some leagues going. Probably, just one league. But if we can get some leagues going, get a little bit of a community built up, hopefully putting in the back nine will be a little bit easier. But a lot of the back nine holes are going to be easier than the front nine holes, so that's gonna make things a little bit better too. Once those get in, it won't be such a slog going down and around through the front nine twice. So yeah, we're still going to be working on the back nine. That's the next step for me personally.
If you had an ideal situation for a league, like a Dubs league, and what day, anything like that?
I would probably want to do singles just because, it's sort of set up to be a more competitive course. Not that doubles isn't competitive, but it tends to be a little bit more casual. But on the other hand, if it's a difficult course, maybe people need that little bit of a comfort of having a partner to hopefully throw a better shot than them to entice them to come out a little bit more.
Maybe you get it as a stop on the Paint Bureau Pro League.
Yeah. I can easily see convincing Josh to do that.
Isn't that like his local course?
Yeah, he's very local to it. So
Is this the first time there's really been anybody competing on it?
yeah.
How did it play out compared to your expectations?
The numbers were right around where I expected them to be. It's still the first time that people are playing it and people are still learning the lines and everything. But Jason had asked me at the beginning what I thought was going to win it. And I said, probably like +1 or maybe -1. It's going to be right around even if I had to guess. And, it was a couple strokes above that, but, also some rough conditions. And it was, by the end, I was much more tired than I thought I was going to be just because of the heat and because of all the walking and everything. I think there's going to be more scoreable holes on the back nine. So yeah, it was right around where I expected it to be, I think.
Are there any ace runs on the front nine?
There's a handful. They're not easy to get. Like there's definitely potential ace runs, but there's a lot of danger if you don't end up doing what you're trying to do.
Is the back nine already mapped out?
It's currently mapped out, but as you start building any course, as you start like actually cutting it in, things shift and adjust and things like that.
Yeah. Even if it's on paper, it doesn't mean that's where it's going to end up.
Right.
All right. So the DisCap Series 2024 number 3 Flight of the Condor, non-rated. Looks like Randy played. I don't see Corey on there. Did you not play a tournament this weekend, Corey?
Corey was camping.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
too busy causing a ruckus.
What type of ruckus, sir? Oh, that one is way before you guys. That's Breakfast Club.
I was going to guess MASH.
Movie or TV show?
TV show.
Oh, okay. So tournament director Mike Schwartz. Now, we talked about the Condor before, right? That is like an ultimate disc or a catch disc?
It's like shaped like a rock, but it's 150% of a rock is how I would describe a Condor.
You mean the size-wise?
Yeah.
Yeah, the max weight is 200 grams versus 175, or I guess compared to a mid-range 180. So 20 grams heavier. I think it's like 3 centimeters larger as well.
Sounds like an inch. Could have just said an inch, Randy.
No.
Inch and a half, maybe.
I don't convert inches to centimeters very often.
It's like 2.5.
You shouldn't have to at all. This is America, last I knew.
Just to confuse the measurement even more, the negative space where the flight plate is wide enough that you can put a disc in that.
Yeah, you can store it with a disc inside it, so you don't lose any space in your bag. Just kind of cool.
Oh, I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah.
My wife used to use the doggy style.
What?
Yeah, go on.
If you listen to an old enough episode, I did a trivia, disc or no disc on it, with a Snoop Dogg album.
From episode 41, May 19, 2020.
Question 1, also a disc golf disc. What 1993 Snoop Dogg album was the first debut album ever to enter the Billboard charts at number 1?
Can you repeat it? I'm sorry.
Certainly. What 1993 Snoop Dogg album was the first debut album ever to enter the Billboard charts at number 1?
I think his album was called Doggy Style, but that's not the name of the disc.
That is definitely the name of the album.
Okay, and what company makes the Doggy Style?
No clue.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's the right answer.
Yeah.
The Doggy Style? How about Legacy?
Liam, do you have a guess what company makes the Doggy Style?
The Doggy Style was an actual disc?
Yes.
Okay.
One I can throw.
What is it?
I'm sorry, it's a frisbee disc from Gateway. It's their version of the Zephyr.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll fit like a mid-range in it. So it doesn't take up that much space in the bag. That really had nothing to do with anything. But so let me go through the divisions, the lower divisions, Randy, and then you can tell us all about the pro division.
Yeah.
All right, so it's like 10 divisions. Women's Amateur 3, FA3 was won by Brandy Hudson. Mixed Amateur 3 was Steven Banatowski, who beat, I think, Nick Atkatz, who spelled his name wrong.
Yeah, Nick was a last-minute ad, like typing it as he's like driving there, I think.
So somebody had a BlackBerry typing his name.
Yeah.
All right. Well, actually, they tied, so I assume Steven won in some kind of playoff because he's on top. Do you know anything about that, Randy?
I know I missed it if there was a playoff.
Quite all right, because then I'm going to ask you about MA2, Mixed Amateur 2, which is also a tie between the three named Christopher Evan Chuck and Joseph Karen at -1.
Oh, no. I have no idea. I think our card, we played with my kids in tow, so we were like the last card back. So I missed all those playoffs, I think.
Likely story. That's all right. It looks like Joe Karen was on top, so we're going to give him the credit for that win. MA60, Mixed Amateur 60, David Chaikin won that division. Kenji Klein, that is like 3 times that he's won MA50, the Mixed Amateur 50 division, in like the last couple weeks. So we're going to have you move up, Kenji.
Bagger.
Yes, bagger.
Yeah, bagger.
Derek Stasinski won the Mixed Amateur 40, the MA40 division. Dennis Daly is your winner in MA1 by 3 strokes over Ryan Lorenz and Joshua Lee. Mixed Pro 50, Jeff Wachowski smoked his whole division. He was the only one in it. And FPO was won by Kathleen Bemis. Randy, so what happened in the pro division?
All right, so in the pro division, there was 3 of us. I had Adam Nelson, Mark Damey, and I had Adam on our card. We kind of coordinated that with Mike so we could have our kids with us. And Adam and Melissa are very, I'm not going to say fond of playing rounds with our kids, but they're used to it at this point. So that was nice of him to let us do that. But it was good having Adam on my card, mostly because I was just able to play it as kind of a match play scenario, just like keeping tabs on Adam. I didn't really have to like look at live scores all that much. But yeah, it was kind of rainy to start the round. And luckily, I think after our second hole, the rain held off, which turned into a nice day. But, you know, when you're only playing with one disc, you got to towel it off every single time you throw it on a wet day like that. But yeah, if you haven't thrown one before, it's really torque resistant because of the bigger diameter. So you can actually throw it on a lot of different angles and it'll hold it really nicely. Like if you're used to throwing like a neutral mid, I don't know, like a Mako 3 or something like that, it's like that, but exaggerated. It'll glide really, really far on like whatever angle you put it on. So I immediately was very okay with throwing it. It was right up my alley.
You hadn't thrown this disc before?
At the Paint Bureau round on Wednesday, I threw it twice in the field just to like see how it flew. That was it. I mean, I played Ultimate for years and I had never thrown one until this last week. And I wish someone handed me one back then because it forehand really similarly, like you can put it out on a hyzer and it'll flip up to flat really nicely. And it won't really roll over unless you roll it over, but it just goes really straight. So if you're coming from Ultimate, I highly recommend it as like just a general use disc. Like you can get a lot of use out of it. Now it was brand new. I don't know how they fly after they've hit trees a bunch of times. And I don't know if they make them in anything besides DX, but I really liked it at least for one round.
So Corey, you ever thrown a Condor?
If I've thrown a Condor, it was probably once or twice back to Greg Kurtz, who just whipped it at me and said, 4! So I'd say kind of, but no, not really.
Jamin?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've messed around with Condors a lot. Way back in the day, Harry did a Condor only tournament at J Park. I think I still have that one because as cool as they are, you can't get rid of them once you have them.
What about you, Alex?
I have a Condor, but I have never thrown it.
All right. Has that ever been on Disc or No Disc, the Condor? It has, yes. I think it has.
Yeah, we just did it a few weeks ago.
Of course, it's a bird question.
Yeah, exactly. I'm very low on birds at this point. Scott, have you ever thrown a Condor?
Condor, no. But I have a couple Zephyrs and other like type discs like that.
Nice. Speaking of, Randy, what have you thrown this summer as far as those type of discs? Wasn't there another tournament? No, the Berg. That's not.
Yeah, so the Berg, you know, it's a 1-speed versus the Condor being a 4-speed. So if you're talking about a 1-disc tournament, The Condor is your best option for like tee shot. You can get a ton of distance with a Condor. If you have the height, you can really air those things out versus, a Berg tournament, a glitch tournament. Those are your one speeds. They're really usable, but not for like a hyzer flip up tee shot. One of the par fours, there's only a couple, but one of the par fours this weekend, like I threw it only like 20 feet short of where I would throw like a Thunderbird. So definitely has nice glide compared to the more utility disc tournaments you might play in.
What about the putting?
So that was the problem. It didn't feel bad in the hand or anything. It's a bigger diameter, and something about the rim shape and the bigger diameter, if it hits metal, like if you catch any nub at all, it's probably not going to go in. And if it's a little too high, it's probably not going to go in. And then with the ground being sloped at a lot of the holes at Prospect, it was a rollaway machine. And this thing would not slow down. Like I saw so many rollaways that would, hit a tuft of grass and look like they were done and then just keep on going. So like loved it for tee shots, but halfway through the round, I was terrified to try and put it near the basket. Like you have to avoid hitting anything but flat ground, basically. So yeah, no, I don't know the physics of that, but it was terrifying. I think my last like 3 holes, I was just laying everything up, no matter what, trying to just match the grade of the ground and let it like flop down because I got burned by rollaways during that round.
What course was this at?
It was Prospect, so yeah, the whole back 9 is pretty sloped.
And it wasn't like the Berg tournament. This was like full, like the legit tee pad, the basket kind of thing?
Yep, no alterations on like the 18-hole layout there. The distance, it really only mattered on like one hole. I realized I could probably play the whole course with a 4 or 5 speed disc and not have any issues. So round started off real well, parked hole 1, but Adam hit his putt from, I'm going to say 50 feet away. So he clearly liked putting with it.
And no relation to Ryan Nelson, right? Just double checking?
No,
Okay.
No, maybe distantly.
Yeah, it sounded like it. That's why I hit those type of putts. So I was just double checking.
I've mixed them up just checking live scores before when they're in the same tournament and been really surprised. So yeah, Adam banged like a 50-foot putt to start the round. So I immediately was like, oh, cool. We're going to have a battle, which was going to be fun. I already said it, but we're also like passing the children around. So I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, and we were playing ready golf and very much like strategically putting out so that someone had an eye on the kids or was like bringing the kids to the next hole. But it was a pretty well-oiled machine most of the round.
Were there any situations like where you were playing with Jason and his kids? Where was that?
Oh, at Minekill?
Yeah.
No, I mean, so luckily it was 4 adults versus 2 kids.
Oh, okay. So you had the numbers
instead of a 4v4 scenario. So yeah, nothing too crazy. My kids were surprisingly really well behaved for almost the whole round. I really can't complain. It was great considering it was drizzly and they're in rubber boots the whole time. It was a good time. But yeah, no, for the round, I think the front 9 we were pretty close. I think Adam took rollaways on the front 9, and I got through the front 9. I took a bogey on the 9th hole from just like a silly OB like slide because that hole's pretty sloped. But basically, I'd played the front 9 as if I'd been playing it with my whole bag. No real issues. Didn't change any decisions on holes. Got to the front 9 thinking like, oh, this is kind of easy. Checked the scores. Like I had a comfortable lead, and then it didn't go so great on the back 9. So there's a stretch on the back 9, 13, 14, 15, I think is the stretch of like harder holes. And I had a pretty comfortable lead and was trying to tell myself like not to change anything. And I had a cage hit go from a birdie putt to a bogey putt. And I just say thank you to Adam for telling me to just re-putt. It was a 20-footer that rolled to become like a 50-foot OB. And he was like, oh, just re-putt it. Like, don't go down there. And then I actually made that 20-footer, which felt good. So sorry, but thanks, Adam. And then, yeah, the next 2 holes are also very slope and had a birdie putt turn into a bogey as well. So putts I maybe should have laid up, but they're only, 25 feet. So it's hard to tell yourself to lay those up. Like you're trying to just play confidently. And I should have maybe thought about the scores a little bit more and laid them up, but I was trying to just coast. So then had to, I think, hole 16, 17, I just absolutely laid up from, 30 feet, like no thought other than laying up. And then hole 18 is on a very slope as well. Luckily, I think I had a 3-stroke lead at that point, but I put my tee shot 15 feet away and I told myself, well, I can't lay this up safer than I can putt it. So I was able to make that putt and actually take the outright lead for the whole tournament. A few other people shot one down, and I managed to pull off 2 down by making that putt.
Heck yeah.
Did you guys have a throw off to see who could throw it the farthest?
No, the weather wasn't so great. I don't think anybody was in the mood to like go do extracurriculars. But the par 4, hole 8, I was able to get it. I don't know if you guys know the hole super well, but there's like a low branch. I'm going to guess 350 out to that pin. Then because then my upshot was just about 100, maybe 120. And I was able to get there with it. So the thing has insane glide. If you give it height to use the glide, you can throw it real far.
Is it going in your bag?
No. It's like the whole day, a lot of us were actually throwing really cool shots with it. And we kept saying like, oh, like new favorite disc going right in the bag. But just the roll away part, kind of just hard no. Like it was crazy. Like the rollaways I saw, it's kind of cursed, unfortunately. So yeah, not making the bag. I'll just use, a MD1 or a rock to do those shots.
Where would you even put it?
Well, that's the thing. You can put another putter in it and slide it into your putter spot up top. Yeah. Right. So it doesn't actually take up an extra spot.
I mean, sounds like there's no downside to just having it in there.
You're right. When I need a roller, that's when I'll use it.
Did you cash at the Glitch World Championship qualifier?
No, there was prizes. There was no cash.
Did you prize?
I did. I took second. So I took what did I get? A new mid-range, which I'm excited to throw.
If we don't count prizes as cash, that still means you have a 2 cash streak.
Yes. This year at One Disc Tournaments, I have a 2 cash streak going.
Well, plus the Sunnyside Takeover.
Oh, yeah. So as long as it's not a rated tournament, I am down to play well.
Corey counts dubs on Tuesdays for his cash streak. So
unofficially, yeah, there's 2 different columns.
All right. So one thing I've been really afraid of is SkipAce. We are so far behind on SkipAce.
Yeah.
All right. So what happened in May?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think we go back to, if I'm correct, Minekill. I don't think we gave results for Minekill.
You should only just talk about this last week.
And just forget about it. Well, no, because I think Mikey Botlez won one of them, and he definitely pointed it out last time I talked to him. So I got to mention that. So I'm going to go through the winners. So it's like 7 events. So we'll go quick.
Real quick, I have to mention my sister beat me in the last few. So I'm really glad we're only going over the winners and not talking about that.
Oh, I was going to mention us.
Okay, fair.
So 2024 Minekill Disc Golf Championship standings. I came in 37th of 42. I beat Corey Me Up Cook and Kate Disc, but I lost to Dell is the Best Pots, Alex is Stinky, and Corey Buns. Corey Cook came in 27th, beat Ryan Travis, 148.343.
And I picked myself and got positive points. Just gotta make that known.
Let's see. Jason Lasasso, 21st. Jamin, also 21st. A lot of ties in this because not a lot of options. 1, 2, 3. 6 people in 21st. Jamin, Jason, Kat Bemis, Mikey Botlez, Mysterious AJ, and Zam. Alex tied for 8th with Joe Gaspardi and Mike Warner from Highland. Mm-hmm. Randy tied for 4th with Brian Bickersmith, and a 3-way tie for 1st, Brian Heller, Ryan, and Yvonne Marmota. All right. 2024 Beaver State Fling. I was in 35th place this time. I had a Kenji and Corey Buns. Alex, 34th place. You got me by 23 points.
I'm not sure if Drew Gibson dropped or if he just didn't play well, but either way, he tanked me by quite a bit.
Randy and Jason tied for 24th. Ryan in 23rd. Corey Me Up Cook, 21st. Dell is the Best Pots. Alex equals Stinky in 16th.
Mm-hmm.
Jamin 13th. Corey Cook in 7th.
Yep.
And your winner, Mikey Botlez, 1,084 points. Almost 50 points over Amanda Dunbar. Syracuse Open, probably another one with a lot of ties. I actually ended up in 25th this time. I was ahead of Corey Buns, Randy Bobandy. I beat him. Corey Me Up Cook. Alex, 33rd place. Jason also 33rd, tied with Ryan Travis 148.343.
We both had Zach Tassone, who dropped, and I had Dylan Reese, and he had Mark Peters, who I also think both of them dropped.
Nice. I mean, for me, not for you guys. Kenji Klein came in 40th, minus 160, the only person in the negatives. 23rd place, Dell is the Best Pots. Alex equals Stinky. Mm-hmm. Ryan in 20th. Corey 19th, right behind Jamin in 18th. And Amanda Dunbar held off Callie Josh by 7 points. All right, we are zipping through these jammer time. I came in 34th. Man, I just scroll down and find me. But I beat Kenji Klein, Corey Me Up Cook, and Jamin Hume, who came in 39th. Just missed the cash, Jamin. Just missed the cash.
No.
34th place, one spot behind Della's the best pots, Alex equals Stinky, who was one spot behind Randy Bobandy. Ryan in 24th, Highland Mike Warner 21st, tied with Kat Bemis. Kate Disk tied for 16th with Brian Heller and Mike Schwartz. Corey Cook 14th. Behind Turtles in Your Face. Familiar position from J-Dubs, right? Behind Turtles in Your Face. 12th place, Alex, tied for 10th. Jason is tied with Brian Bickersmith. Corey Buns in 7th. And Yvonne Marmota is your winner. All right, moving right along. Brewster Ridge Open. I came in 28th, ahead of Corey Cook in 29th.
I picked myself again, and I still got positive points. That's still a win. I got 18 points. Maybe not the best pick.
Hey, positive is positive.
Exactly. We were both ahead of Jason, who came in 36th, and Turtles in Your Face. So, hey, we got him. But Kenji had us in 27th. Jamin 21st, tied with Alex in 21st. Randy Bobandy tied for 13th with Mike Schwartz and Kat Bemis. Corey Miepcook in 8th. Rob Weiss of the Mississippi and Brian Heller tied for 2nd. Behind Ryan Nelson, your winner for the Brewster Ridge Open. Moving on, we got the Preserve Championship connected by Microsoft Team. Wow, I was 11th place this time, so I beat a bunch of people who I'm going to point out right now. Damon came in 35th, Corey Miepcook in 34th, Alex Potts in 30th, Corey Buns 25th, Corey Cook 22nd, so you beat your Buns. Ryan 17th, Randy Bobandy in 13th. Oh, I was tied for 11th with Kenji Klein. Jason in 8th. Rob Weiss of the Mississippi in 5th. That's a couple top 5 finishes, Corey. Don't get nervous.
Not nervous.
The winner, my nemesis, Brandon Klein. And most recently, we had the Swedish Open presented by Castaplast. I came in 25th. And that's BS because I picked anybody whose name I couldn't pronounce.
It kind of worked out.
Well, 25th place, but because last time a bunch of people dropped, and I figured these people ain't dropping.
They're locals.
Yeah,
I call them locals.
Randy, though, 36th place. Alex in 33rd. Jason 30th. Corey Buns in 27th. One spot ahead of Bickersmith.
Rob 29th. Not worried.
Yeah, it's true. That's like half as many points as your winner, which we'll get to in a minute. Ryan Nelson in 24th. One spot ahead of me. Corey Miepcook in 17th. Brandon Klein in 12th. Good. Corey Cook, 7th place. Ryan Travis, 148,343 in 4th. And your winner, Jamin Hume.
Yeah, I needed that one. It was becoming obvious that I was getting bad at this.
By a good amount of points, over 100 points. Everybody, 145 is your lowest. Nice.
We did both go with the Silva Sarnen strat. She is kind of slapping around.
She's been
FPL
crushing
a little
it.
bit.
Yeah, she's won the last 5 Disc Golf Pro Tour Europe events in a row, which is insane.
MVP sponsored.
Yep.
Oh, is she on your team, Alex?
I wish. Yeah, I wish I was good enough to be on that team.
All right, so overall standings. We got 50 players this year. Corey Buns in 42nd. Kenji Klein, 39th. Right behind Dell is the best pots. Alex is Stinky. I'm in 29th place, one spot ahead of Corey Miepcook, somebody who didn't even start until like halfway through. I would like to rather be around 25th because I like to be the litmus test. I like to be right in the middle, which is what Jason is right now, 25th place. Alex in 20th, Randy 19th, Rob Weiss of the Mississippi in 16th, Jamin 14th, Mike Warner from Highland in 13th, Ryan in 11th, Brian Heller 9th, Brandon Klein in 7th. We're going to have to check those stats. It's still pending, so I'm sure once they find his cheating, they'll move him down. Ryan Travis, 148,343 in 6th. Mike Schwartz in 5th. Yvonne Marmota in 4th. Corey Cook, 3rd place.
Trolling multiple weeks by picking myself. Still barely getting beat.
And that's probably why you're behind Kyle Hirsch in 2nd.
Because I wasn't picking him.
Maybe.
Hey, you're only 60 points back.
Yeah.
I probably would be beating him if every time I've picked myself, I've picked him. Except for the jammer, just saying.
And your leader through a lot of events, Jason's Mechanic. All right, the next event is, let's see, in a few days, True Bank Des Moines Challenge presented by DGA. And then the Crook Hole Open. Sounds like another foreign one.
Was it the Crokinole Open? Is Jeff playing in that?
Yeah, Jeff. So, Scott, is there anything that you want to let people know before they vote?
I think overall, just, looking towards the future, give me a chance. Let me help kind of bring stuff to a new era of disc golf here in New York and see where it goes. Like, nothing's wrong with what we have. Let's just make it better. I think that's kind of thing. Plenty I'm being transparent. I'm trying to bring more people into the network and really build up this state for disc golf and get us on the map even more than we already are.
Nice. So what we do is we do a quiz usually to finish off.
Okay.
It's a game called Disc or No Disc. I ask you a trivia question, and then you answer it. Then I ask whether or not your answer is a PDGA-approved disc. So it's potentially worth 2 points. Answer the question. If you're right, you get to tell whether or not it's a disc or not. And that's really all it is. Not a lot of rules.
Okay.
We got 5 players. So do you want to be on a team with 2 people or 3? If you're on a team with 2, you go first, but you have less people.
Ooh, I get to, decisions. Okay. Let's go 2.
All right. So who do you want as your partner?
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go Alex.
Good pick.
Smart.
Good pick. Yeah.
You've listened before. That means you get to go first, and that means it's Jamin, Corey, and Randy.
Draw heads.
All right. So I have 3 categories here, Scott and Alex. Each category has a theme, but I can't tell you that. You just pick randomly. Do you want category 1, category 2, and category 3?
I don't think there's much to this decision, so whatever you're feeling like.
Let's go in the middle 2.
Sure.
2. I will tell you that we've been doing this for a while, so the discs, no comment.
They start getting a little obscure.
Yeah.
All right. So question 1, category 2. George Clinton is known for what pop music style characterized by syncopated rhythm and a heavy bass line? George Clinton is known for what pop music style characterized by syncopated rhythm and a heavy bass line?
Funk?
Sounds right to me.
Yeah.
Yes, good.
Yeah,
what
I
is
think
funk?
I'm happy with that.
Is the funk a disc?
That's a good question. I can't think of any manufacturers that have like music genre themes.
Yeah, I think really, except for the one that Prodigy just came out with, I can't think of any like music themed discs.
MVP has a couple.
Yeah.
Or, well, Axiom specifically, but
But at the same time, funk just sounds like a putter.
yeah, it does sound like a good disc name. This is a classic for us. It's one of those where if it isn't, it will be very soon, one way or another. So I'm happy with going yes on this.
I'm sorry, no.
Oh well.
All right.
So I got 1 out of it.
Jamin, Corey, and Randy, category 1, 2, or 3, whichever category doesn't get picked, the last category that doesn't get picked, you could still pick 2, but if 1 or 3, one of them's going away. So which category would you like?
3?
I guess my vote. Overruled.
Okay. I want to stick the music categories and use Jamin's expertise.
Might not necessarily be music.
We've never been fooled before. No, let's go.
Listen, I thought that question, both times he read it, was Bill Clinton, and then it clicked in my head that he did not say Bill Clinton.
George Clinton.
To be honest, I heard the same thing at first.
All right. Question 1, category 3. What word can be used to describe the act or process of acquiring something or a detergent brand from Procter & Gamble with aroma boost? What word can be used to describe the act or process of acquiring something or a detergent brand from Procter & Gamble with aroma boost?
Gain?
Gain,
Yep.
yeah.
Is the gain a disc?
I don't really like it.
Do you think this is a music theme too? Like gain on your amp?
Oh,
Yeah, it's sounding a little bit that way. Is that one of Kevin Jones's discs?
That was kind of what I was thinking, honestly.
Like Reverb, I know is one of them.
He has reverb, yeah.
I'd be all right with that.
I'm good with it.
All right, then I guess I am too.
Momentum Discs, April 4th, 2023.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Scott and Alex, category 2 or 3. 1 is out.
All right. So this is where we start trying to figure out what the categories are and see if we have any, leanings towards one or the other.
I mean, right now I'm leaning towards 2 being more music, so
I'm good with either.
stay with 2.
Sounds good.
All right, question 2, category 2. Stephen King said a dream gave him the idea for what novel about a woman who holds a writer prisoner? Stephen King said a dream gave him the idea for what novel about a woman who holds a writer prisoner?
Is it Misery? Is that the name of the book?
That sounds right.
I feel like it is. I'm not super confident in it, but it's the name that came to me. So, all
You sound more confident than I am, so let's go with it.
right. Sounds good to me.
You with Misery?
Mm-hmm.
Is the Misery a disc?
I can't imagine someone would want to throw a Misery,
I had the same thing about people that putt with nomads.
I mean, but what about Doomsday? They have those random,
They do. They have a lot of, doomsday sounding disc names.
I don't know. My gut is saying no, so
All right. I'm happy going no.
all right, we'll go no.
You are correct.
Nice.
Next week there'll be a disc from them.
All right, Jamin, Corey, Randy, 2 or 3?
So far, I've known 3, and I have not known 2, so I still vote 3.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't know too, so yep.
All right, question 2, category 3. From Middle English and Latin for towards and to climb. What word can be used to describe what can be done to a staircase or to a throne? from Middle English and Latin for toward and to climb. What word can be used to describe what can be done to a staircase or a throne?
Is that ascend?
I was thinking ascend.
Like ascend the throne.
I
Yeah.
do like ascend. Yeah, sounds juicy.
Yeah, let's go with it.
You guys good?
Yeah,
Is the ascend a disc?
It is.
I feel like
I feel like it is.
Yeah, it's a streamline.
Oh, nice.
Streamlined discs, March 21st, 2022, 4-3.
That seems a lot newer than I thought it was.
Yeah.
Scott and Alex, 2 or 3.
I'm liking 2.
Some patterns have started to emerge.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think I'm happy with either one.
Let's do 2 then.
Sounds good.
Question 3, category 2. What word for a sudden wild fear comes from the name of a god who was believed to cause it? What word for a sudden wild fear comes from the name of a god who was believed to cause it?
All of a sudden, I know how all the on game shows on feel all of a sudden.
Is it a phobia?
I believe so, yeah.
I think phobia.
You guys good with that?
Yep.
What do you think, Jamin, Corey, Randy?
Oh.
I was going to say panic.
Phobia is what I was thinking, so
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not sure now.
Like a sudden fear is what the question was,
yeah,
right?
that's what I was thinking
Yeah,
phobia
yeah.
before.
Sudden and wild. But what's their Greek name?
I don't remember the whole question. I just remember that. It was a sudden fear. Can we hear the question one more time, Pat?
What word for a sudden wild fear comes from the name of a god who was believed to cause it?
Don't know my gods, and I ain't scared of shit.
Except cars.
Falling and crushing me. Panic's better than phobia. I'm not sure that it's right, but it at least answers like 2 of the 3 parts of the question.
What about hysteria?
Oh,
yeah,
now
I
that
like
sounds
that.
good.
It sounds a little more Greek.
Alex's sigh gave it away.
Okay, so it's
Oh,
hysteria.
that wasn't me.
That was
I don't
me.
think it was me.
Oh. I like hysteria more than panic.
Yeah, I like it best of the 3.
You guys good with that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were looking for panic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It was?
As soon as you said panic, I'm like, oh,
Axiom Discs, April 3rd, 2017.
What god is Panic from? What pantheon is that from?
that's still Greek, I think.
Is it Greek? Okay.
All right. Still 4-3, Scott and Alex. Oh, wait. That was a steals. No,
Yeah,
James,
that was a
Corey, and Randy.
Yay.
2 or 3.
I still vote 3.
Sounds good.
Sure.
All right. Question 3, category 3. What word can be a verb meaning to reach the top of a peak or a formally arranged meeting of heads of government? What word can be a verb meaning to reach the top of a peak or a formally arranged meeting of heads of a government?
Summit.
Ooh, right. Wait, that's a verb too?
Yeah, to summit the peak.
Oh,
Yeah.
that just sounds like bad English. Show me summit, Pat.
Is the summit a disc?
I think it is. I think it's another one of the like Conrad ones. I could be totally wrong about that. It just sounds like it.
I have no idea, but it does sound great.
Because his discs are like Trail, Nomad, Zenith.
Ooh, Detour is the disc I couldn't think of earlier. That's what
How is
I
that
grabbed.
relevant now, Randy?
Oh.
I just remember. It's fine.
So yes, it is.
Yeah, I think it is a disc, but it's not an MVP. I think it's a Vibram.
Man, bring Vibram back.
They've tried.
Because I want to throw them, but
You guys good?
Yep.
yep.
Vibram Disc Golf, January 28th, 2009. All right. 6-3, Scott and Alex. What do you got? 2 or 3?
Well, I thought 2 was going to be pop culture, and I don't feel good about that anymore.
I think 2 is just like negative feelings.
That makes sense, yeah. What do you think?
I knew the 3 and 3 pretty much right away, so I feel like I'm feeling good about 3.
Let's go for it.
All right. Question 4, category 3. In a famous line from a poem by Maya Angelou, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll do what? In a famous line from a poem by Maya Angelou, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll do what?
I do not know it.
There, you can see you got the hard one in this category.
It's always when you switch. It's always when you switch.
Second half. I try.
Yep.
It's air.
Can I hear the question one more time?
In a famous line from a poem by Maya Angelou, you may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll do what?
I mean, hot air rises.
Yeah, rise does sound really good.
Yeah.
With ascend and summit and gain on there, like rise is definitely the words that's coming to mind.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I'm happy with rise.
Is the rise a disc?
I know the rive is a disc, but that's a V, not an S.
Hey, I didn't ask that, Alex.
I'm just going through all the discs in my head going...
Yeah, right. It's always like when you're on the spot like this, when you can think of like 2 discs, and you can't even remember half the discs in your own bag.
Well, it's like my brain is just the filing cabinet. You're just going through the filing cabinet trying to figure it out.
Yep. I think I like Rise as a disc.
I feel like it's too simple not to be. So I'm going to say yes.
I'm happy with yes.
Yeah.
Birdie, June 17th, 2024.
Wow. So 2 weeks ago.
Semi-local company.
Oh, nice.
What does semi mean?
I want to say they're out of New Jersey or Pennsylvania, but they're like that eastern Pennsylvania, Jersey area.
6-5, Jamin, Corey, Randy. What do you got? 2 or 3?
Do we switch up on them too, just to assert dominance?
I want to stick with 3. I feel like we know the.
All right, we'll do the calculated approach. Do 3.
All right, question 5, category 3. The trophy for the player in the NHL with the most goals each season is named for Maurice Richard, who was famously nicknamed what? The trophy for the player in the NHL with the most goals each season is named for Maurice Richard, who was famously nicknamed what?
Heisman.
The goalie with the most goals in this. Wait.
The player in the NHL with the most goals each season.
That makes a lot more sense. They should give an award to the goalie with the most goals, though.
Would make games a lot more interesting.
Randy.
Yeah, I know I said category we knew the answer to.
You watch hockey. You're the new Hockey Minute guy.
You are our hockey pro, Randy.
I know, but I don't know the answer.
How many awards are they giving out in hockey that you can't think of, like something other than the cup?
There's like President's Cup for the regular season. That's all I can think of. What's a good nickname that also is a word that means upward?
For a guy named Richard?
Yeah.
Does it have the word dick in it? I mean, that's like a nickname for Richard.
Don't think that's what they named the trophy.
I have no idea.
Yeah, Alex is going to get this.
Like the top.
It's all your fault, Randy.
What's a word for up, the top of something? That could be a nickname.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah, like the Tips Trophy, the Tops Trophy.
The Tip Award? Peak Award? Zenith?
I liked Peak. That's better than what we said so far.
Have you ever heard of the Peak Award, Randy?
No, have you heard of any of them?
No.
Yeah. The Stanley Cup.
Are you sure Stanley isn't a big mountain somewhere? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Sure, Peak.
Well, let's go with it.
Okay.
What do you think, Scott and Alex?
Kind of felt good about it, not going to lie.
The trophy for the player in the NHL with the most goals each season is named for Maurice Richard, who is famously nicknamed what?
Just for clarification, this is from category 3, correct?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the Rocket.
Yeah, that is, how would Rocket up? Could it also be the Pinnacle?
Could it be the Pinnacle? Yes. Do I think it's the Pinnacle? I don't think so. I'm having vague memories of something hockey related and like the Rocket for most goals scored, but it's not a very confident memory.
Yeah, I mean, hockey player nicknames is not the greatest. Especially when you live in a city that has the Sabres.
Not a lot of going up there.
Half team's gone. Let's go Rocket. That makes sense with hockey.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm good with it.
Is the Rocket a disc?
Nice. Is the Rocket a disc? I mean, it seems like it should be, right?
I mean, seems like it. That's another one of those where it's like super, like, I don't want to say common name, but like.
Yeah, I mean.
Rocket goes fast. It has to be probably a driver.
It goes fast, goes up, goes long distances. I like yes.
Yeah, I'm going to take yes as well.
Pro Discus, May 28th, 2015. They take the lead.
Nice.
Little brands.
And that was a steal. 2 rounds left.
Yeah, so there's 6 questions in each category. So what we can do is if we want to, we can take the last category 3 question, and then they have to go to the category 2, which they haven't had any experience with so far, except for the one they tried to steal and failed.
Exactly what we want you guys to do, though.
Mm-hmm.
That could be what they want us to do. You get super metagamey when you've done this a couple of times.
Do you?
Nothing wrong with a little bit of metagame. Start rules lawyering everything.
Yeah. And theoretically, they get harder as they go. So, the last question could be really hard, and we could try to go for number 2 to be a little bit easier. But that's not always how it pans out. Sometimes, it's just what Pat is, going off of. So it's not always, what might be easy for us might not be what he's seeing as easy when he's making the questions. So
simple enough. Like I said, now I know how all those contestants I hear on the morning radio shows on the drive to work feel. Mm-hmm. You're sitting there going, it's so easy. What's wrong?
Oh, yeah. I started off listening, and they had a string of Star Wars questions that I was like yelling at my car, trying to make them have the right answer quicker. But since then, it has been significantly tougher when I'm actually answering them for real without the benefit of being completely separate and not being recorded.
All right. Scott and Alex, what category? 2 or 3?
How you feeling?
I say let's get the last 3.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Question 6. Category 3. According to the poem Ulysses by the Victorian poet Alfred Lord Tennyson, what proceeds to seek, to find, and not to yield? According to the poem Ulysses by the Victorian Alfred Lord Tennyson, what proceeds to seek, to find, and not to yield?
I don't know it.
I'm trying to think of things that involve up.
Yeah.
What do you think? There's some kind of theme here?
I'm kind of hoping. Seek doesn't yield.
According to the poem Ulysses by Victorian Alfred Lord Tennyson, what proceeds to seek, to find, and not to yield?
So to seek and to find. So we're looking for something. We are looking for an answer that's not coming to me. Search doesn't really make sense. I write down the answers, so I keep looking at them, and I'm like, all of the previous answers make sense except for rocket.
What about? I'm trying to think. I'm just going through words that are like.
Yeah, throw them out there.
So like strive for like
Yeah. Strive, I do like strive.
that or like knowledge, but I'm thinking strive is the better.
Yeah, and it's definitely got that sort of, seeking and
Yeah, like you're striving for knowledge, striving for
Yeah.
A goal. So
I'm happy with strive.
same.
You guys good?
Yeah.
Is the strive a disc?
Nicely done.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna say yes. I'm pretty sure it's one of the new
Yeah,
royal.
I'm pretty
plastic.
confident there's a strive.
Yeah, I think it's one of the new Latitude Royal discs.
Yep.
Latitude 64, December 11th, 2023.
Good call.
I love that plastic.
All right, Jamin, Corey, Randy. Question 4, category 2. The very long opening line of A Tale of the Two Cities ends with the phrase, "It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of what?" The very long opening line of A Tale of the Two Cities ends with the phrase, "It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of what?"
The spring of hope and the what of what?
The winter of what?
Spring of hope, winter of
Despair?
Ooh, that's a
Yeah, think
stinky
of the opposite
word.
of hope.
That is kind of the opposite of hope.
Yeah, I don't remember too much of my Dickens.
Well, you knew it was Dickens, so that's something.
I was about to explain to Corey that I was the author, not.
Yeah, well, Dickens, what is that short for?
It's short for Charles Dickens.
Oh, that motherfucker.
He owes me $10.
I mean, that despair.
I like despair.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I can't. I'm not coming up with anything better. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like that.
Is the despair a disc?
This whole category screams not a disc.
I know,
Just
like
because all the
buggers,
words
just like-
suck. Panic is kind of cool, though.
Panic was a disc.
Yeah. I feel like despair is not a good disc name.
Yeah, I mean, I say no.
All right,
But I can
I'm
see it
good with
being a
that. No.
disc, but I still say no.
Randy?
Yeah, I'm good with no.
Doomsday Discs, May 16th, 2022.
I knew it was going to be those fucking assholes, too.
We blew it.
This whole category could just be them.
All right. Scott and Alex, you're up 2 and going into the final round.
Just got to get one.
Question 5, category 2. For her first big story, Nellie Bly faked insanity in order to be diagnosed with what 8-letter female malady to get committed to an asylum? Also the name of a Def Leppard album. For her first big story, Nellie Bly faked insanity in order to be diagnosed with what 8-letter female malady to get committed to an asylum? Also the name of a Def Leppard album.
What is hysteria?
Yeah, there's your hysteria.
I wasn't sure with the Billy Brown one, but as soon as you said Def Leppard, I was like, yep, that's hysteria.
Yeah, happy with hysteria.
Is the hysteria a disc?
I don't know.
I want to say yes. I don't know why, but something's telling me yes.
Yeah, I could easily see it being a doomsday disc.
I mean, everything in this category could just be a doomsday disc. And
Yep.
You guys agree?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, happy with yes.
This one I wasn't sure about. Discmania has a DD that they call the hysteria. Does that count?
It's the nickname for it.
So no. Would you say, Jamin?
Yeah, I don't know. They don't have it on there anymore. A lot of the discs used to have nicknames like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying the same thing with Prodigy with some of the Kevin Jones stuff was just remolds of other discs and renamed.
Yeah, Discmania went the opposite way. Like they used to, like the MD1 used to be called a Gremlin.
Yeah, the FD
Yeah,
used to be a
we
jackal.
had these before with the jackal, yeah.
So no?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't end up mattering for this specific set, but it might be worth it to set a precedent.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Nah, man, that's some bullshit. Them names don't work. We've had these discs before.
I'm leaning toward yes. I don't know. I knew those names.
What about a Cloudbreaker? Would that count?
Yeah, exactly. Because the Cloudbreaker's not the official name.
Nope, because it's actually a DD3 or whatever the hell it is.
All right, sure.
Although that whole company's line of discs sucks for the questions anyway. Maybe we give that company a pass. Because like what trivia answer is going to be? MD1.
Probably a roadaway somewhere that has that.
Alex, what did you guys say?
I think we said it was a disc, yeah.
So, Corey, are we saying it is a disc?
I flip. I think I convinced myself. Vote yes.
Okay. It just gives me a handful more to use for stuff.
I mean, I'd be way more impressed to see what kind of question you come up with that the answer is DD3 or whatever.
I could see MD.
Yeah.
I think I've actually used MD in something.
Nice.
But I'm not looking for it to put it in here. So,
from episode 44, June 17, 2020.
Question 5. What was William James Mayo awarded with in 1883? It's also a postal abbreviation. I'm sorry. What was William James Mayo awarded with in 1883? It's also a postal abbreviation.
I got nothing.
Andrew, I'm sorry, Jason?
I don't know.
Kenji?
Sorry, make it do it. Can you repeat it one more time? You're looking for a postal abbreviation?
I got no problem repeating. What was William James Mayo awarded with in 1883? It is also a postal abbreviation.
I have no idea what you're looking for there. I don't know.
We're looking for MD. MD.
MD? Oh, that makes sense now.
So final question, Jamin, Corey, Randy. From an Old English word for pale, what word can mean pale, dismal, drab, depressing, grim, or an area of land lacking vegetation and exposed to the elements? From an Old English word for pale, what word can mean pale, dismal, drab, depressing, grim, or an area of land lacking vegetation and exposed to the elements?
The first thing I thought of was barren, but that sounds like a stupid answer.
I also thought barren, but I don't think it's right. I don't know.
I like that. I was going to say desert, but I like barren.
Neither of those sound like something you would call someone pale, though.
What were the words, Pat? What were the words you listed?
Pale, dismal, drab, depressing, grim, or an area of land lacking vegetation and exposed to the elements.
I would describe like something that was dismal or depressing as barren.
Yeah, barren
barren
works
wasteland.
for a lot of the question.
Go with it. We can't win.
Yeah.
Good point. That's actually the most convincing point.
Let's figure out the answer, then take an extra long time figuring out whether it's a disc or not for Kyle.
For Kyle.
Yeah. Okay, barren.
What do you got, Alex?
Oh, I fucking knew it was going to be wrong. This shit was going to be too easy to be barren.
This backfired.
The first thing that came to mind is like waste, like wasteland.
Well, with all the time that Western New York deals with winters, the first thing that popped in my head is bleak.
Oh, bleak. Yeah. I don't think we're looking for a word that can describe or is a word for an area. Can I hear the question one more time?
From an Old English word for pale, what word can mean pale, dismal, drab, depressing, grim, or an area of land lacking vegetation and exposed to the elements?
Okay, so I don't think we're looking for an adjective that describes like a desert wasteland or something like that. I think we're looking for the word like desert or wasteland or, something similar to that.
See, it's weird because it's Old English word for pale.
I got pretty much nothing. So if you're feeling good about something, then let's go with it.
Let's go. Let's try bleak.
Sure.
Is the bleak a disc?
Good call.
Thank you, Western New York winters.
We got to take a good 15 minutes on this one for Kyle. We have a local pro who doesn't like when we spend a long time thinking about the answer to the secondary part of the question. Like he understands the trivia part, but as soon as it gets to the disc part, it's just, we got to answer immediately for him. So we got to take our time.
We can go quick because I know the answer to it.
Oh yeah, if there's a bleak or not.
Yes, there is.
Nice. All right.
We can finally say Doomsday has made the list. So I'm pretty sure Doomsday bleak is a thing.
Well, they also had the despair, but yes. Doomsday
right.
Discs, May 16th, 2022. So congratulations, Scott and Alex.
Nicely done.
Yeah,
Alex, I know you're not used to that, but congratulations for the week.
The guests aren't always the key to winning, but definitely helped out this time.
Absolutely.
One of the plus sides of helping out at a disc golf shop.
You see a lot of discs.
Yeah.
That's a good point. So anything before we go?
Just the deep disc 4th of July round at J Park.
What's that, Corey?
Every year, myself and Brian, and then we've expanding it to asking other people if they want to come play. We play a J Park round on the 4th of July. So I think we're playing some J29 layout, which is the J27 layout plus the par 4 and 5 in the woods, and then the par 4 36.
And Scott, you've not played any courses out this way?
Not yet. Hopefully later this year. I'm planning on taking a couple days off from work and getting out that way.
Are there any courses on your bucket list in this direction?
I mean, definitely Mine Kills. I want to get out to. I have a couple teammates that have gotten to either play in the tournament or played it while traveling. Other than that, I might just take a couple days and just hit up U-Disc and go.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, Jamin, Alex, Corey, Randy, and thanks for coming on, Scott, and good luck.
Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, man. Thanks, Pat.
Thanks, Matt.
And sweet up, Hudson.
I feel like I have to mention about how there was like an all points bulletin or whatever it's called in the DisCap region for myself. Why Chelsea don't want to hear about this, but I freaking Friday, I woke up, had no tournaments. One of my coworkers that's big into camping asked if I wanted to camp. I said, sure. So I headed out Friday out to like the Hudson River up near like Lake Luzerne and the towns of like Hadley up there. Basically, look at Thousand Acres Ranch and then across the river. That's exactly where I was. No service. So I'm gone from like Friday morning, and then I start heading back Sunday, and my phone gets absolutely blown up. I'm driving, so I don't really want to pay attention to it too much. But I'm like, my brother messaged me. I should probably check to see what that one was about. And it's like, apparently everyone thought I was dead because I was like offline for a day and a half. People are calling hospitals. People are showing up in my house, checking to see if I'm home, seeing if my cars are here. People are texting my brother, all because I went on a little camping trip and I had no idea what was going on.
You other guys heard about this? This is the first time.
Yeah, no, that Bohanski posted something in the Disc Captains group that was like, anybody hear from Corey? Like, I haven't heard from him at, like, this time on Friday. And like, I realized that like that's around the same time that I had heard from him. So I was just like, no, I haven't heard from him since then anyways either. Honestly, knowing Corey and his ability to sign up for tournaments, one of the first things I did is I looked at the Electricity Classic and I was like, well, he signed up for a tournament last night, so couldn't have gone too far. But yeah, no, it's just one of those things where I think everybody's so used to Corey being involved in the chats with the messenger and stuff that when he doesn't say anything for a day and a half, everybody gets worried.
Bohanski's too nurturing, so he literally, well, him and maybe a couple other people had some help in it, but just literally like created some mass hysteria. Now, I will say, I feel like I do have a better chance than other people to be like in the garage and crushed by a car out from like too far away from arm's reach to grab my phone. I guess that's probably higher than most people's. But yeah, I just thought it was really funny. Like the one time that I go away for like 36 hours without service is the one day that people are trying to get a hold of.
That is what I thought. Corey was probably like out on like lifted his Altima or something and was torquing on a bolt and just knocked it off of it.
Or he was just stranded somewhere because his battery fused to his hood or something.
Yeah.
It's like a double-edged sword. It's like, it's great that people notice your absence, but sometimes you probably wouldn't mind, you know.
Yeah, no, definitely both. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess at least some people care, and that on the other side,
at least
I gotta tell people where I am at all times, or at least Bohanski. I didn't realize I had to leave a note on my door.
I had the old gone fishing signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like, on lunch break, I'll be back in 30 minutes.
We didn't have time for Last Week in Disc Golf, and I'm not sure how interested people are in hearing a list of names anyway. So I'm trying something different. Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Week. Similar to the Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Year, Player of the Week is determined by weekly leagues and events. Podium finishes in weekly dubs and singles gets 3 points for first, 2 for second, and 1 for first. Sanctioned event points are worth double. Events will fluctuate each week, but most of the ones we go over regularly will be included as long as they have a minimum of 10 players for doubles and 5 for singles. We'll try that out and see what people think. If people like it, we'll keep doing it. If it sucks, we won't. But first, I went through all the events and did the math, so here it is. We had a second place tie with 7 points. First up, with a tie for second at SPW doubles, a second place finish at the J-Dubs Points Championship, and a win at Prospect Park doubles is Jay Gorsage, the Tower of Power. Also in second place with a second place finish at the Paint Bureau Pro League, a tie for second at the DisCap Monthly at OKDGC, and a win at SPW doubles is Jason Lasasso. And your winner with 10 points, the first Hudson Valley Disc Golf Podcast Player of the Week, had a second place finish at Prospect Park doubles, tied for second at SPW doubles, won at CPS Thursday dubs, and won at Shen Creek dubs. Congratulations, Ethan Hatters.
Can't remember. I had a question last week and it went horribly, so I'm going to skip it. I don't even remember what I asked.
But... Oh, it was about new tournament directors.
Oh, well, Scott, you already addressed that. That was actually a really good answer for that.
Is it funny that you said that you had something that bombed and that's all Pat needed to know to give you the answer?
Because Jamin bombed so rarely that I was able to pop in my head immediately.
Right, okay.
I don't bomb very often because I've asked one question this year.
And happy Bobby Medina Day, everybody.